Threat to our military personnel was real, but we're finding out how really close it was coming to being acted out. To Fox News' Greg Palcott in London with the latest on a hacker with some interesting ties to a certain region. Greg.
Absolutely, Neil. Authorities are calling this arrest of this hacker the first of its kind. The feds are narrowing in or closing in on the nexus between terrorism and cybercrime. The guy's name is Ardit Feritzi. He's a 20-year-old man from Kosovo, and it's accused of stealing personal information via hacking into computer data banks of some 1,400 U.S. troops, U.S. government employees, and then passing them on to the terror group ISIS. We're talking about names, Neil, addresses, photos, emails, enough to do some real damage in the wrong hands, and I think ISIS qualifies as wrong hands. The hack was discovered, in fact, when ISIS tweeted the information. It was tracked down to this guy. The authorities in Malaysia picked him up, and now Washington is working on an extradition. It looks like that'll happen. He could face 35 years in the clink if he is found guilty. Now, some of the information in the hack was a bit out of date. Other individuals were contacted, but the risk is huge and the danger is real. We have seen what ISIS does to its targets. The feds are making clear, Neil, that they are going to crack down on what is dubbed the Islamic State Hacking Division of the Cyber Caliphate. ISIS's use of social media is well known. Washington now trying to play catch up. It is very important. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg, very, very much. All right, to Steve Rogers, former FBI Joint Terror Task Force. Pretty scary stuff, Steve.
You know, Neil, we've predicted this for quite some time. The arms of ISIS are global. They want to bring the battlefield here, and they're working hard to do that. And the way that they're going to do that is to recruit people like this individual here.
To do what?
To make sure that attacks are going to be here and not just in the Mideast.
But attacks apparently on military personnel, right?
And police personnel.
Right.
And then eventually...
Sort of like what we had in London.
There you go. And then eventually you're going to see in our cities, I'm sorry to say this, if we don't wake up, bloodshed. ISIS is for real, and they want the bloodshed here. Now, let me add this. Early on in the game, you and I had talked about how do we stop this? Well, it should have been stopped a long time ago. We hit their command and control centers militarily in the Mideast. You hit their intelligence infrastructure. Ironically, Putin's doing the job for us, and I hope to God that he's able to decapitate them, but then we're going to have to deal with him.
All right, now you were telling me that terrorists work under just intimidation, too. And then obviously when you see soldiers or police killed, sometimes brutally, that has a whole new wave of impact, right?
Well, yes, it does. Obviously, with this information, when, let's say the parents of a lot of these military guys are aware that ISIS has their names and they're going out, that brings terror to families. But once they start acting on this information, we've got serious problems. That's why the Department of Homeland Security has to start bringing funding to local police departments. I've said this on the air a million times. Start beefing up these police departments, beef up their intelligence, because we're in for some tough times.
What do you make of the significance of Kosovo? That everything originated there, in this case?
Well, in this case, I don't put much significance in it because it's just a guy that they found, and you could find him anywhere, and they tapped into him. I don't know, and we don't know at this point what they gave him, what they offered him, but I wouldn't place any significance on that.
All right, but the fact that, as you told me, these weren't just vague threats against military personnel or targeting or hacking military personnel, this was a means to an end, right?
Oh, it sure is. The means is to terrorize, and the end is to destroy the United States of America from within. So again, this government has to wake up and realize we're at war, and we better start fighting this war with everything we have, or we're going to find ourselves in serious trouble.
Steve Rogers, scary stuff. Thank you very, very much. Well,